What it do? Welcome back to the Chronicles of Level Ground. This is the last show. We got one of my favorite sports figures, Michael Jordan, with the Bulls releasing The Last Dance. So I thought that this would be a good segue into the last show of the Chronicles of Level Ground, and I'm calling this The Last Stand. This was the last show that we did with Harvey All Bangers. We opened up for Tyga. Harv worked hard with LaFonte Joe to lock this show down. He talked about being significant with the artists that are relevant and performing with those guys. We had a couple of guys over in Europe that liked a couple of our songs, and they did one of the videos for one of the songs, and the music was starting to stretch past America. And anybody that's had music to go outside of America, you realize that sometimes we're duped into believing that it's really only one sound until you get your music to stretch past America, and you realize that the world is huge, the world is big. A lot of people like what you're doing, and you got to get your music out there. So we got our music stretched out there, and Harv was saying, let's just make sure that we stay relevant. And we talked to the whole team, and like I said, he locked that show down. We celebrated that night. The very next day, we went in and started measuring out the 15 minutes that we had, thinking about, just how many songs we want to do, the spacing on the stage. Now, with us being 4 members, with DJ West One now being a full-blown member, and Tone Kane being a part of a couple of songs, so that's really 5 people with our player partner, Sip, who is on the stage with us as well. So we're looking at about 6 people on the stage now. Once he measures that out and made a copy for me, I went to work. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm competitive, so I have to figure out like what spacing looks like, kind of live with the music for a couple of days just to kind of see what I want to do. I can vision a crowd, so I'm always trying to figure out where I need to go, how I need to space the show, just steps. A show is like taking steps upstairs, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta, every song, you gotta go up another step, and you gotta be ready to make a move. So, we had about 3 months, and we went deep into practice, and some of these practices were intense, to say the least. A lot of verbal arguments on, giving our all and not half-assing, and a couple times it shut down because of it being a little more than just a verbal argument. Now it's just personal, personal darts being thrown at each other on trying to get it done. And anybody that's been on the team, anybody that's going for a championship will know that that's how it is. And I'm 100% competitive, so a lot of the times it was me saying things that were out of the way, maybe, but we all had one of the days where we led that practice, and and talk to everybody else on, man, if you're not going to give you 100, sit down. What are you doing? Because again, these are about to be thousands of people. And I remember Wes saying that on one of the practices, is that, man, this is about to be thousands of people. So are you going to leave that last impression on thousands of people if you kind of just going through the motions, or is this what you really want to do, or what's going on? So we practiced hard, man. When we got to the show, we always, for every show, wear a fresh pair of Jordans. That's just who I am, so I'm always trying to facilitate that. Harv always gets a new brim. Gear is on 40 when we go to do the things that we do. And man, just really, really 100% excited about opening up for Tyga and doing the things we had to do. Unfortunately, that day, Harv's legs were really, really hurting him, and he was verbally saying that to everybody. Is that, man? I really can't wait for this show to end so I can go back to the house, man, because my legs are killing me. So as a team, I started thinking and just saying, man, I already know mentally I'm gonna have to raise the roof and go upstairs. If he can't, do his part, or if he's in that much pain, we all got to do what we got to do to make it better for him, because he really wanted this show and he really wanted to open up for Tyga. So, man, we go through the show. I think probably one of the best shows that we had as a group. You know, you couldn't even see that Harv was in pain. Sig was doing what he had to do. Tone Kane was doing what he had to do. Wes was doing what he had to do. I was on point. Man, everybody made it through the songs. Nobody messed up on the words. Loving it live, so you get a chance to mess with the crowd. We gained some fans that didn't really know too much about who we were right here in their city. Man, it was a beautiful thing, man. And after we finished, Harv was like, "Hey, man, I got to go back to the crib, man. My legs are killing me." So we didn't really get a chance to stick around and see too much of the show, but had a drink and was 100% excited about just how everybody took to what we were doing and how we were doing it. And Harv was on his way to LA because there was a young lady that he grew up with that was in one of the record labels in Los Angeles, and he set up a meeting with her, and he was going out in the next couple of months to talk to her. We opened up for Tyga in February of 2016. Harv was pretty much going to be riding out there probably by April or May to talk to her. Unfortunately, Harv went in the hospital a couple of weeks after that, and untimely death of Harv was April 28th, of 2016. Really, really hard to understand that, and really can say that was the last dance there with Harv, and we ended on a really, really good note. You know what I'm saying? And I miss my brother 100%, but there was nothing that I didn't tell him. He was like the commissioner to me being Batman. Always could see the good in what I was trying to do, even with me being competitive, even with us arguing. He understood. We could sit back down after the argument and go, man, I know what you're trying to do. I'm trying to push you. I'm trying to push everybody to give the best that they could give, because, man, we made it through Chicago. We made it through Bullets. We made it through the Hundreds. We made it through the East Side. Man, for us to be able to get a chance to do some of the things that most groups in Chicago want to do and be able to open up for major acts and stuff like that, it's so many people that want to do that. Is why would we half-ass it? You know what I'm saying? And that, what I miss about that is that right now with myself dropping my what I call third CD, I Am Who I Say I Am, The Light Side, and Wes dropping his Midwest West Coast. This was his idea, Harv, to put out some solo albums, and we were going to come back and probably do one more Level Ground album and probably implement Tone Kane a little bit more, but I just appreciate his vision in order for us to be where we're at right now. Now this took us to opening up for Mac 10, Too Short, and E40. And I said that I would not go back on the stage unless it was at that level and at that time of opening up for Tyga. If I can't get back on the stage and rock for thousands, then I'm not getting back on the stage. This segment right here, which is the last stand, is what I'm calling it, of the Chronicles of Level Ground, is going to take us to the documentary of myself and Wes rolling to getting back on the stage without being able to look to the right and see our brother Harvey all bangers. It's your boy Herb Dot, man. This has been fun to travel back, but anybody that knows me knows that I'm, like I drive looking out the windshield. I only look in the rear view once or twice, so I'm not reminiscing on the past or living in the past. My best days are still ahead of me. So trust me, we got the documentary coming, and you're gonna feel that because it is talking about the last time we was on the stage with Harv and the hard work it took to get back on the stage as solo artists of the same production company. It's your boy Herb Dot, man. This has been 100% fun. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to some of these wild stories. May Harv rest in peace. April 28th. Everybody pay attention to the book and IG. I'll be posting some of the last songs that we did with Harv and also posting some of the live performances with Harv, and all the fun we had with Level Ground. All right? Hey, listen, do something for somebody else. Trust me, to give you a chance to figure out where you're supposed to be. Holla at your boy, man. Y'all see that Michael Jackson shirt? Real talk. That's who. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing anything. Real talk. All right. Holla at your boy.